All right, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a light comparison between all of these compact impact wrenches. I really wish I had a DeWALT on me because it'll be the only one that can compete with this Makita here. But let's just start the review, okay? So first up, all these things are rated for the most part the same. The Metabo is rated at about 220, 225 foot-pounds. We're going to skip that. This stubby is rated at 250 foot-pounds of torque, fastening and loosening. That number is also fastening and loosening. This M18 compact impact wrench that all of you love so much is also rated at 250 loosening and tightening, same exact as the stubby. And this long boy here is rated at, I think, 220 fastening and loosening. So none of these are going to probably produce those numbers at all, except for this Makita here, which is rated at 430. Let me get my numbers right. 430 foot-pounds of loosening and 240 foot-pounds of tightening. So we already know who the king is here. It's this Makita. Now, the Makita also has multiple features that the others do not have, such as this, such as this, such as this. Those are things you're not going to get in any of these other things. And basically what that is to make sure you don't lose your nuts or bolts when you're loosening. And it also, when fastening, it makes sure it doesn't overdrive it and strip anything out. Now, several of these have features like that. Pretty much all of them have features that'll stop once it gets too tight. But all of them don't have features when you're loosening it up where it'll stop to prevent you from losing anything. But even if they all did, doesn't matter. 430 foot-pounds. This is 149. This is 199. This is like 189. This is 219. And who cares? Get this thing out of there. I mean, come on. Actually, this is actually quite relevant because, again, it does 220. This, I don't know how much this is. 189, 199, something like that. So all these pretty much cost the same. Tool only. The only other one that gives this some go is the Metabo HPT. Now, you may be looking at these and you notice that they are larger than these two. They are. However, the Makita is larger for a good reason. It's producing those numbers. The Metabo HPT, not so much. It's basically the lowest rated of all the gun style, the pistol style impact wrenches. But it has a few tricks up its sleeve, such as the through hole on the anvil here. I like that. None of the other ones have that. And most people don't use that anymore, but it helps secure the socket once you put it on there. It still has the hog ring, but you put it on there and you line up the hole and you can stick a little pin in there and that thing isn't going anywhere. Another feature this has that's pretty cool is it can double as a flashlight. So you could just turn the flashlight on, right? None of the other ones can do that. So that's a cool feature. But the coolest feature of all to me with this, and it has a bunch of little settings on the side. You have to read your manual to understand what all this stuff means. It's basically doing stuff that Makita does with a little functionality over here. That's just checking your battery. That's all that is. Which is quite redundant because you check your battery there, you check your battery here. I don't know. I don't feel like it's necessary when the batteries do that to have that on the tool. Put something else here so we can change some more modes up. But the other cool thing about this is, yes, it's IP56 rated. None of the other ones are rated for that. And this also has a lifetime warranty. And it is 18 volt. And if you take a little peek there, you see what I paid for this bad boy. But that's irrelevant, what I paid for. We talking about regular price. This is the cheapest with a lifetime warranty. You'll never need another tool. You'll never need another compact unless you need to produce more beans than you get this Makita or the DeWALT. Now let's talk about ergonomics real quick. The Metabo HPT, it feels like a glove. It feels like it's a finger, like it is an extension of my hand. The Makita feels good. It's not an extension of my hand, but it feels very good. Ooh, goodness, this feels so good. It's grippy and sticky and everything. That's really quiet. What speed is this on? This is on high speed and forward. This is on high speed and forward as well. This is a lot less muss and fuzz, but I mean, it's not as powerful as that. So why we even talk about that? Now let's talk about this stubby. Oh man, this thing feels horrible in my hand. It's just so weird. I mean, you get stuff done with it, but it's awful. This grip is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Oh, this feels much better than that, but it is also bad. It's too much room. My hand can slip. You see that? All that room, and it can slip, and all that gap down there. It's just, But one thing I will give this, we're not there yet, is its beautiful light. We'll talk about that. And then this, let me put a battery in that. All right, we just took the battery out of that one. Okay, so this bad boy is really top heavy. It is super awkward to use. It feels really strong though. It feels really powerful. All right, that's going in forward and that's full blast. Oh no, that's actually reverse. Full blast forward. Same thing. Great break. But this thing is really uncomfortable to hold in your hand. It really is a two-handed tool. And I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's hurting my wrist. Now let's talk about one of the things that this bad boy shines in, and that is its beautiful LED lights. So as we know, it has the 3 LED lights, but if we point it down at the floor here, we'll see it is the TrueView yellow light. You could see so much of the workspace. I love it. It doesn't stay on very long, but I really do love the light. Definitely wins the points for that. The stubby, it's white light. It doesn't do a bad job at illuminating, single LED. The Makita has a really bright light, single LED. It's lighter than the stubby, but I'll say this thing is kind of too bright. There were some times where I was doing some work on the RV, and frankly, this light was just too bright, and I wish I could have turned it off, and I could have, but I really wanted to not turn it off, but I wanted to turn it down. I wish these had multiple modes, like a dim mode and then a bright mode. And the Metabo HPT has the single LED as well. Not as bright as the Makita, but that's probably a good thing. I'll turn it off. Probably a good thing. But it's a little weird. You see all those lines and imperfections? Again, maybe that's intentional so it's not blinding the workpiece. I don't know. I've never had any issues with any Metabo HPT tools blinding anything, but I've never used this. This is brand new. I use the Makita and use the stubby a lot. I've even used that, but I have never used this, and I will not be keeping that. I will be keeping this, obviously, for the $37 that I paid for this on the Buy More, Save More on top of the clearance stack. But yeah, anyway, so that's the video, really. Honestly, the point is, why buy that? I got this for $144. I made a video on it. It was $144 from Amazon. I mean, why would you buy anything else? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you could buy this. If you find this on clearance, I'm buying that all day. $37, $59, I'm getting that. And it came with a free battery. There's nothing to even discuss. But we're talking regular prices. Get this Makita or get the new DeWALT. They both produce really great numbers, and this is an older model, I believe. That new DeWALT is the king now, but I mean, still, that's a testament to Makita here because this one's been out longer than the DeWALT, and it's still putting up those numbers. So anyway, hopefully this video was helpful. This is the compact impact wrench you want. This is the DeWALT, depending on the battery line you're in. All right, so real quick, I do want to add that I went to Home Depot yesterday and got my hands on this DeWALT. It is as if the M18 Milwaukee and the M12 stubby got together and had a baby, and it would be this DeWALT. And then they took some genes from the Makita to make it very powerful. It is smaller than the Makita, and it is more powerful in terms of numbers than the Makita. However, it feels just like the M18 in your hands. It's not that great, the ergonomics, but if you could get beyond that, and again, normal price is $229. It's the most expensive out of the bunch, but it's also more powerful. If you're in the DeWALT line, I'd say this would be the way to go. If you're in nothing and you're looking to start off, I would say I personally am just kind of thinking that the DeWalt might be the way to go just because of how small it is. It's much smaller than the Makita, costs a little bit more, $30 extra. It doesn't feel as good in your hand, but I think for the short periods of time that you'll be using the tool, I don't think that that's going to be a big deal. It's much better than the stubby, that's for sure. So anyway, that's the video. Hopefully it was helpful.